Hey, this is Chuck, and you are listening to Fans with Bands, the podcast where we talk to the fans and the bands they dig about life, music, and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Today on Fans with Bands, we're talking to Chemical Valley Mutants. Check it out. Hey, this is Chuck with Fans with Bands, and I'm talking to Dan, Jay, and Aaron from Chemical Valley Mutants. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Hey. I'm doing great. Doing great. I want to thank you guys so much for reaching out and getting me in the loop with your new album called Poisoned. I love that it's just raw, vicious power. I love that. It's fucking awesome. And
thank you.
Thank you guys for being on Fans of Bands. So how did the Chemical Valley Mutants come to be? How did you form?
We formed in, was it fall of last year?
Yeah.
Well, it's like September, October, somewhere in there, and we just started meeting up and started writing tunes. Awesome. We always wanted to be in a sort of punk band. We're pretty much metalheads that play punk at this point. We've been in metal bands, and now it's time to be in a punk band.
Awesome. Yeah, you can hear some of the on the new album. It's definitely punk. But there's a metal edge to it for sure, especially on like tunes like Vigilante, and my favorite tune is FYP. That I love that tune.
I love that one. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, that song kicks ass. So I was wondering, from this album, for each of you, what is your favorite track off the Poisoned album? So maybe we'll start with Jay.
For me, it's Port Huron Horror and Didn't Feel a Thing. Those are my two that I just keep going back to.
Nice. What is it about those tunes that you love?
Well, like I'm a hardcore guy, always been a big hardcore guy. So like I like the simplicity, the almost amateur feel of the songs, and I like how just they really paint like portraits as songs themselves with the stories behind them.
Yeah. Cool. Jay, how about you?
It's that first opening groove for me, and Failed to Mention. I don't know what it is about it, but that one gets me every time. And the hooky chorus.
Yeah.
That one, and probably Didn't Feel a Thing too, because that's kind of like our last caress.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think I need to say anything else.
Yeah, when I was listening to that, I'm going, holy crap.
Good.
Kill that father.
Yeah. Oh man. Aaron, how about you?
Probably the same as Dan's. Didn't Feel a Thing and Port Huron Horror.
Nice.
I like the solos in them. There's not very many.
Oh yeah. No, I really like our guitar solos. Aaron's a great guitar player.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because as you would expect with punk songs, they're short and fast, but they really get the point across. You get like all the elements that you want in the song just coming at you in a rush, and next thing you know, boom, onto the next tune, which is what I love about it.
One's Poisoned.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
Yeah,
actually, one wasn't even supposed to be that long, but Jay had an idea that he wanted it. He says, "Keep playing the ending. I want it to fade out, and we're gonna fade out." Then we just did like that live ending where I was like, everyone's like, "Fuck, we should keep that in." Like, fuck, it's a long thing. So I'm sitting in the studio. I go, "Want me to lay down some noise solo shit at the end? A couple tracks." Like, yeah. Want some more? Like, no, that's it.
Those were actually crazy. Those were supposed to be our scratch tracks, but we really liked how they sounded, so we just kept the scratch tracks as the masters.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Punk, raw and all that shit. So it worked out well.
I think I dubbed 2 or 3 solos.
Yeah, it was more of a level thing.
I think
at the end of it all.
We were really well practiced going into this. We had a mission and we wanted to lay it down as
we were
clearly as possible.
It definitely captures the intensity. So when you guys were recording this, did you record as a band, like all together? Did you lay down separate tracks? Live.
It's live but isolated.
Yeah, they're separate tracks, but live, and they just mess with the levels and stuff the best way. And we did like a couple takes if we needed to and stuff like that, and kept a good one, But it was like boom, 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 and I was happy with that.
Our biggest worry about going into this? Because I mean, if you hear the album, you can tell these songs were wrote to play live in front of an audience with all the stops and changes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We were concerned if we were going to have a hard time putting that down in the studio as they were intended to be played, and I think we did a pretty decent job at capturing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say I would agree because you know, I have a follow-up question to that, but I think you're right on the money, Dan, in that the power of that, you know, the kind of intensity that you do feel like you're in a live show when you're listening to the album. You kind of
Yeah.
get that groove. Were you guys like, it's, you know, track order is important. Were you thinking of that when you put the tracks together in the order that you did on the album, as far as like, I want this to sound like a live performance and I want it to sound like you're at the show?
Yes and no. Like we didn't like have like a whole like week where we like broke it down, but as we were writing them and thinking about the album, it was some were like set in place for a reason, but most just flew in that order naturally.
Yeah, we
Nice.
moved some stuff, like 2 songs around. Because after the recording, it's like, that should probably go up a little higher. And then
Yeah,
Poison wasn't, I don't think it was originally the end, was it?
Poison wasn't the end, and I don't even think Didn't Feel a Thing was supposed to be
No, that
on
was
the
supposed
album.
to be further. No, well, it was supposed to be further down.
Well, yeah, it was a late.
Because I like the Metallica, old Metallica way. You start out a little slow,
Yeah.
go fast, and you always end fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were kind of like, fuck, man, how are we gonna do that? Then we did like, Poison kind of worked out, and he's like, well, I guess you got your fast ending. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought of that. I was like, second album will have a slow ending.
Yeah. Yeah, we're supposed to end it with whatchamaffucker.
The old whatchamafucker song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One I wrote for the other band, the main riff, and then we never used it, so I used it in this one. I can't think of the fucking name of the song. With the slow ending.
That's
We're on the Doom part.
Oh,
Anarchy,
Anarchy, Equality.
Yeah, Anarchy,
yeah.
Equality.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
end it
That's another tune I really love.
originally.
That one's a nod back to our thrash roots right there.
Yeah,
For
for sure.
The riff I played for these guys. Because Big Steve came over based on how I joined the band. We were in another band together. He goes, hey, you want to be in a punk band? I'm like, yeah. I've been in punk bands before. I like having a lot of fun. So he came over here for like 20 minutes. He showed me some of the stuff. We went over there. He's like, yeah, show him that riff. Okay. And like there, I was like, well, am I in? I'm like, yeah, you're in. And so like a lot of, even the middle part of that song came out just us jamming.
Awesome.
And finally tightened it down to that, and then Jay was like, I hear it going to like a doomy thing at the end, playing the same notes. I'm like, all right, let's fucking try that.
Yeah, 'cause we like adding in, like injecting a bit of the metal influence too.
For
'cause
sure.
we're metalheads, so
Yeah.
it's bound to happen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can't keep it out of there, really.
Right. It's hard when you're a punk. I know, like, you know, you either come from either camps and then you eventually meet in the middle, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like all of us, especially, we started on that line of like walking down like and we're just taking things from here and there and throwing it together.
Makes it more interesting too.
We really like a lot of old school hardcore punk, so like you can hear that, especially with the sound of the album. I gotta give that to the Schwank and here in Port Huron. They really took care of us on that album.
The
Nice.
Schwank Soundstead.
Yep.
It's like a old house they turned into a venue/recording studio.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
It's ran by
The
punks,
police showed up
too,
when we were
so-
recording,
Yeah, they
So-
actually
the cop,
got
I'm
they
like,
have to take a break now because the cops, they hit him with a big citation and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I feel
shit.
bad, but man,
He was being cool. He's just like, he's the guy you guys being loud. I'm like, well, how's it sound? Does it sound
right.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
What-
But they're good people. I really like that
Yeah.
place.
Did-
That's where we actually had our first gig, was at that place.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And people were moshing so much when my brother was there. He left the room because the floor.
Yeah, I feel so bad. Oh,
He's like, dude, I want to wind up in the basement if they got one.
I think we're definitely one of the first band, if not the first band, to have a huge like wall to wall mosh pit going on, and I was like, oh,
There's
it's
a lot
a
of good
100-year-old
bands,
house. Like, oh,
It reminds me of the issue St. Andrews Hall has had.
Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Yeah, where their floor was like.
Smashed down to the shelter.
Oh my
Not
God.
much of a shelter now, right?
Right.
It wouldn't be.
So we've kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'm curious, like, for each of you, what is it about this style of music that like motivates you to want to make it?
Oh man,
Fun to play.
It's fun to play. Just coming up with something quick and powerful and catchy too, because that's that Misfits influence in my opinion. Like Misfits, Minor Threat, like just quick choruses, first chorus, and then fuck off. You know what I mean?
Easy for this asshole when I'm going, fucking motherfucker. Playing 1,000 miles an hour.
Or we'll be like, we have like weird things we'll say to each other. We'll be like feedback that ending, and then like there's some of the way we'll end songs is so non-traditional. Like we'll just like throw feedback as like the I don't just
even going
we try to mix it up
because you notice even in the album there's like a lot of we kind of because we were kind of like, how are we gonna, you know, should we just say fuck it and end it like how we would do it live?
Yeah.
We actually have, you know, try to get it like all polished, and we're just like fuck it, which is however it ends, it fucking ends, and then
it turned out pretty cool.
I think it's a lot better that way. It's more natural.
Right. Well, you know, like we were talking, it has that kind of natural, just like raw power, right? And you know, Jay, when you mentioned Minor Threat, that's what I was thinking of, as far as like the intensity, because there's just a snappiness to those tunes, you know, where it's like bam, bam, bam. You know, you're in it. Yeah, and you're done, you know, and it's just like bam. Instead of like, you know, that's what I can't stand sometimes is when you have a band that's, you know, like there's some bands that fail to capture that live energy, you know.
Yes.
And the recording comes off kind of weak, or you know, Aaron, as you were saying, like they try to polish it up too much, or I don't know, compress the fuck out of it, and it just sounds like shit. I think you guys did. You know, if anything, I would say like as far as a criticism is the drums need to go up a little bit in my mind, but otherwise it's fantastic.
Thank you so much. That means so much.
Yeah, it had like a pretty raw. So we kind of like went in the middle.
Yeah.
Recording, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some parts are up where, you know, back in the 70s or 80s it'd be more like lower lo-fi, but that happens with technology. So we wanted to have that old school feel.
Definitely wanted the old school feel.
Yeah, another thing about short punk is it makes you want to put it on and listen to it right away again. That's what Walk Among Us, when I got the Misfits album, their first, well, it came out later, but that's the album that I listened to first. And it was just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, whoa, what? Like they didn't put nothing fancy in there, and it was intense. And I listened to it again and again. And, you know, wait a minute, I listened to it 4 times, only, what, 2 hours have passed?
Not that I have like a really bad short attention span or anything, but I hate when you get a CD, you pop it in the car to like go to the store, and you've only gotten like a quarter way through one of the songs, versus like if you put in like one of ours or like Rain in Blood or like Minor Threat's discography, you can get in a good 4, 5, 6 songs just going around the corner to the store, you know what I mean?
It's
How
definitely
long was that album?
The same as Rain in Blood, same as ours. I was when we were done, and it was like it's like 28, 27 minutes. I was like, oh, it's Rain in Blood, baby.
That's the beauty of it too. I mean, seriously though, there's times when you want to have like something that's, you know, more introspective, and you're, you know, just you're chilling out or whatever, and you want something that's long and drawn out. And there's other times that you want something like you guys are doing, where it's just this fast shot, and you're just ready to go, kind of pump you up.
Originally they wanted to write songs, everything couldn't be above 2 minutes, and I was like, fuck that. Songs are as long as they need to be.
We did have a rule.
Like, I did this in another band before, like we wrote something, and then I polished up the singer, I showed the band, we recorded it, I went to listen to it, and I was fucking bored with my own shit. I'm like, I cut it, I rearranged it, cut it all. This is from ASD, the Social Degenerates. So like, I kind of like the long one. I'm like, no, dude, if I'm getting bored, we wrote the fucking thing. And we gotta cut it up, you know. So like this band's like, songs just need to go as long as they are.
Right? Yeah. We try to keep them like short, like 2 minutes ish. But if a song calls for itself to be longer, it's usually
it's usually this dick is the one's like, hey, hear me out. I hear another part.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Make the song a little longer.
Fucking Jay, we'll get some. John will be like, I love that. And Jay will be like, but hold on.
Like, always, and like I said, it wasn't as long as it was when we first started doing it, like in the studio, because we wanted to extend the ending.
Yeah.
We hear like Big Steve. He wants to hit stop on his recorder. He's like, "This song's too fucking long."
I remember that.
It was kind of like,
I was like, well, what if it's our ender?
yeah,
Right.
because like his
pretty
idea
sure
too. Like
that's-
he like Steve writes really short, really intense shit.
Yeah.
That's his vision. Like, fucking get in there and beat. He's really good at that shit.
And I like that too.
He's real fucking aggressive with his stuff.
See, I get the best of both worlds because I like the longer songs and the short Minutemen songs too. So like when either one of them bring me a song, it's awesome because like usually I have like a vision right for it and then we're able to complete it. And I love that about these two because even though they're both different, when their different ideas come together, it really produced something that we like. Like we like our songs. Like we're not just saying we like them because we created them. We would actually buy this album and listen to it if it wasn't ours. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's kind of like a favorites, like you said earlier, kind of pick from here, pick from there type of thing.
Yeah. So what is this?
You can buy the fucking album on Bandcamp, $10.
That's right.
The album on Bandcamp, $10. Make us holla.
It's cheap and it's awesome.
Oh, physical copies are on the way.
Yeah. Well, we have tapes too. Our first.
Yeah, we have
gig.
cassette. We have a cassette out too.
Oh, really?
It's our first live.
Yeah.
It's our first show, and it was at the place we recorded our album at, the Schwank Soundstead in Port Huron.
Cool.
So our first show is on cassette, and we have what are those, 5?
8 or 10.
Yeah.
5 or 10.
I forget.
It's a decent price. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's nothing.
Yeah.
It won't break a punk's wallet. We wanted to make sure of that too.
It's so crazy to me that, because when you guys mentioned cassette, like how much that has come back, like vinyl has. I still don't. I have a record player, but I got rid of my. I have there's a box of cassettes downstairs that I had from when I was in a band, and I still have them all, but I don't have anything to play them on.
Finding a cassette harder is way harder than a vinyl player, ironically.
And my kids got like 8 fucking cassette players at least.
Really?
Walkmans, everything.
Yeah.
It's definitely more of a niche, kind of a punk niche thing with cassettes.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd make them because it's more.
I feel like that's the one subgenre where stuff like that has survived. Like you can still buy current bands, cassettes, vinyls, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to stay true.
Yeah, I think Motley Crue, like a few years ago, released a box of the first 4 albums on cassette, and they were like sold out. Fucking weird, like. Okay.
Yeah, I have to go look in that box because I think I've got a bunch of old bands like from way back. There was a band called Destitution. There was Lucifer's Hammer, like old metal stuff. I'm trying to think. Harm's Way. Do you remember the band Harm's Way from Ann Arbor? That thrash band.
I just seen Harm's Way.
Yeah, they were fucking awesome. Trying to remember who else. Death and Taxes. Do you remember Death and Taxes? It was probably before your guys' time.
I've heard of Lucifer's Hammer too.
I've heard of Lucifer's Hammer.
Yeah, they were like those dudes were seriously the beginning of like black metal and death metal in Michigan. But really? In the world, really, like they were at the cutting edge of like some of that shit that was coming out in the late 80s. Yeah, those and as much as I admired what they did, they were a little bit scary too because I remember seeing them and I was like, do they really like cut? Are they slaughtering people? What's going on? Because the guy comes out, he's got an axe, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I wasn't, back then to see somebody with. I mean, they didn't wear a corpse paint, but there was another band called Summon that did. And you're like, what the fuck are these?
Do you
guys?
think they would like walk around town like every day like that, like wearing like the cod pieces and like others, corpse paint? I wonder if that's like
sprinkles my ice cream.
Yeah.
Did a guy named Chaz play for Summon?
Well, there might have been a guy named Chaz, but I know that. Do you know Sean Peters from Cavalcade, the band Cavalcade in Lansing? He was in that. He played guitar in that band way back.
I remember, if my memory serves me right,
thanks, buddy.
My old band, No Class Assassins, played at the Blackened Moon Hall in
Oh,
Lansing.
That
And
place was cool.
yeah, and I think the guy who was in Summon ran like the merch place there.
oh, okay.
Long black hair, spooky guy. But I'm pretty
Awesome.
sure he was in Summon.
Yeah.
I got the brain of a
Chaz.
goldfish, so I don't remember anybody's name.
Well,
Well, I know I played out with this guy.
yeah.
And I remember that band name. But I'll check a flyer like, fuck, I guess we had played out with them.
Oh, that has happened a lot.
uh, so how did each of you guys get into music? Like what motivated you to start playing? So like Aaron, like what got you into guitar, and what were your early influences?
When I first started playing, it was probably a lot of like Black Sabbath, Metallica, and then Ramones and Misfits and shit like that. You know, it changes. Like I listen to everything,
Yeah.
and then I'll have periods I won't listen to Johnny Cash, I won't listen to Misfits, I won't listen to this, and there's periods I just won't listen to music at all, or I'll just fucking flip on like YouTube and start looking around,
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
an interesting band, Google what was it, Italian gibberish song. I saw that. I was like, "What the?" It sounds like something like Red Hot Chili Peppers would have ripped off. And they did this shit like in the fucking like 50s or 60s or 70s. Yeah, I think it's 70s Italian gibberish song.
So when did you start playing?
I was probably around 10.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then like I quit for a while when I was in my 20s. I was married to a cunt. She didn't like music, so and I had a kid and I was working all the fucking time. So I play acoustic, and then when I came back from Iraq. Um, my buddy I used to be in a speed metal band with when we were in our late teens. He goes, "Hey, I'm in this punk band, Antisocial Degenerates, and they're looking for a guitar player.
Uh-huh.
And I play punk." He's like, so I started playing guitar again. And then after them, I kind of fucked around for a while and I got into Mortal Disguise. Um, and that ended for me. And then from playing in that band, I just started playing better because fucking that shit Rick would write was just fucking.
Yeah.
God, that's the rhythm, Rick. What the fuck? That guy could write some shit, man.
Yeah.
So then when these guys, and I always liked playing punk. I remember being in ASD, and I just had more fun playing it.
Uh-huh.
Well, like when Big Steve's like, "Hey, you want to be in this punk band?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's try it out." And I like,
Awesome.
yeah, it's a lot more fun because you don't. I mean, some of it's more intense the way you play it, and you really do have to do all this fast shit. But you
Yeah.
can still, it's for me. I don't know. I just like playing it better.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Jay, how about you? How did you get started in music?
In high school, I started a couple bands and joined some cover band stuff like more old school metal or some Metallica and some Pantera cover stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and I would always like try to get people who aren't really into it to get into it. So I was kind of persuasive with that. I was just like, man, come on, you got a drum set at your house. Why aren't you playing that shit? Let's do it. Let's do something. That and between that and just loving music, man. When I was probably, I don't know, middle school. So like, I don't know, 15.
Yeah.
I was starting to listen to all the crazy shit. And I remember I heard Cannibal Corpse and I thought I was going to go to hell. I was like, what? Is this guy really doing this shit? I didn't really grasp it at the time, but
Right.
then it's like, okay, horror movie stuff. I gotcha. And then I got into horror movies and started making my own and stuff like that. And
Awesome.
I started in high school.
Cool. Very cool. And Dan, how about you?
Me, I was a big into thrash metal and hardcore punk, and I started playing drums when I was 11, and I was in a bunch of thrash bands. And then once I turned 21, I got into a metalcore band, Watchmen Upstairs, and started touring around, playing everywhere with them. Then
Cool.
that one disbanded, and me and one of the members started a hardcore band called Black River, and we were touring and playing in there. And then, but I knew Jay from when he was in No Class. We were friends, so I took a couple years off of music. Just had a baby, or it was my wife was pregnant, and he hit me up and he asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucking desperate. Let's go. Let's do this."
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
knew Big Steve, and then we were jamming. And Big Steve's like, "I got a buddy in another band," and I was like, "Run it. Let's do it." immediately we just started clicking, and this has just been the greatest band experience I've ever had.
We started jamming outside, like just sitting there jamming from day one, writing shit.
Yeah,
we just start playing, and
and we're big writers too. More than like
everybody
in all my other bands. One song, we'd work on like 2 songs or 2 potential riffs for a song for like what seemed like months.
Yeah.
And with this band, it's like, boom, we already had half a damn album at a couple months.
Yeah. We'll write 3 songs in one day, and they, like, you know, those ones would make it onto the album. So I hope this momentum keeps going forward.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We polish them a bit, you know, but rewind, like, come on, you know, we get it all tightened up.
So what is that songwriting process like for you guys? Do you do it old school where everybody's together and start coming up with some riffs and putting things together, or is it like one of you gets an idea?
Yeah, we do it like
a hybrid.
Yeah, like we'll like bring something. I might write something. Hey guys, you like this, and then we'll start working on it, or we'll just start jamming.
Yeah.
Well, nowadays it helps to have like the messenger and chat stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he'll write a guitar riff and send us a video of himself playing it and be like, what do you think about that? And everyone in the band has access to the chat, so that helps.
Yeah.
Because Steve lives about an hour away in Hazel Park. So that really helps us stay focused more when we get together on those.
Because by the time we get together, I already have an idea or something to add, and so does Steve or Jay. So like we all contribute. It's great.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Very good.
Very cool. So something I like to talk about is what was your very first album or CD or cassette purchase for each of you guys?
Oh no!
I think it's all by Slayer.
I don't know. I remember
that was my first one.
Awesome.
Does it include shit that people bought you like when you were a kid?
Well, you can include that too. Yeah.
I think the first album I had was a little fucking 45 of the Chariots of Fire fucking song from that movie. Right. And then I think one of the first tapes I asked was probably Thriller, Michael Jackson.
That's a
nice.
Good one.
Yeah, everybody had that. When I was a kid, everybody had that fucking album.
I had it on cassette too.
Yeah.
Oh man, I believe mine was "Sound of White Noise" by Anthrax.
That's
wow.
And it was a cassette.
He's so full of shit. It's probably some like pussy shit from like
REO Speedwagon.
All right, it was Ace of Base.
Yeah, they do. Like I think I got like
Base. I saw the sign, baby.
I think I had the Def Leppards and the Bon Jovis when I was like when I was what do you call it, grade school.
Yeah.
Then,
I
remember one day at a family member's birthday party, I heard Whiplash from Metallica. I was a kid. I was really young.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
What is that? And then all that shit went away. It's like, fuck all this shit. This is I like this sound.
The only reason mine
makes me want to kill and beat things up.
I got lucky. My stepdad was into like thrash and punk rock, so like I already heard like the Dead Kennedys and Pantera and
no shit.
Spoiled.
Awesome. Yeah. Speaking of Whiplash, when I first heard Metallica, because I was I'm obviously older than you dudes, but I was in like freshman in college, and this guy brought over. So I was at that time listening to like, Iron Maiden, Priest, Angel Witch, that kind of shit. And when this guy brought over Kill 'Em All, and I'm like, what in the? I had never heard anything that fast, that fucking intense.
Yeah, that raw. That was like
yeah, it just blew me away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've heard like punk that was back because as a kid I listened to the Ramones and shit. But like I heard that, I'm like, what is this? This is like fuck. Yeah. So I had to go to like family members like, hey, you heard this band Metallica? Do you have any of their albums? They're like, oh yeah, here. If you like that, check this out.
Is that Steve trying to connect?
It might be.
Maybe listening.
There was Steve that wanted to be admitted, so I'm like, hey Steve, can you hear us?
He might just be listening. He's got some shit he had to do.
Okay. Well, he's muted right now.
So all that shit we talked about him.
Edit it out. Edit it out.
It's 100%
Guys,
true.
like I said, I wish I could write riffs like that dude, because he writes some
Right.
pretty fucking aggressive shit. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Are you
Where the
guys
fuck
there?
did that come from?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had some stuff to do, but he said he was gonna pop the buds in and have a listen.
Listen, Steve is the oldest guy in our band. He's like 55. And
What?
that guy has so much swag on stage. It's like night and day.
Yeah.
Like that guy will come in, he's like the dorky, funny one. And then there's something about all that sex appeal and everything that just hits him the minute them lights are on. I don't know what happens. But
Uh-huh.
he just
Can you
like
guys hear me?
into-
Yeah,
I don't
Steve,
know.
we can
He's
hear
like
you.
a wizard.
Okay,
yeah,
cool. That's
there's
cool.
something
Yeah,
up
all right.
with that dude.
And is this Steve, the bass player? Big Steve?
Yeah, this is he.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up,
awesome.
man? How's it going?
Good,
What's
man. How
up,
are you
buddy?
doing?
Yeah, this worked out pretty good.
Excellent. Yeah, so it sounds like from what Dan's saying, you're the big sexy man on the stage.
He is.
Oh
Big
man, I'll
fucking
tell you.
hair, ear.
So Steve, we were kind of talking about like how the band got together. I just want to tell you that I love the album. It sounds fantastic. It's
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
just heavy hitting and powerful. We were just talking about like first albums. So what was the very first album you ever bought?
Gee. Well, I didn't have to buy many albums when I was a kid. I had an uncle that had a 1,000 album collection.
Oh shit.
So it was basically 60s, 70s rock. But yeah, I would have to say when I was a little kid, like real little, when Kiss first came out, that was my shit. I collected every Kiss album and every poster I could get when I was,
Awesome.
back then.
Yeah.
And then
hell
as
yeah.
far as punk rock goes, I'm pretty much sure well, yeah, I think everyone seen the Sex Pistols, like they were like the big thing for like the radio stations and stuff. But man, when I first heard like Dead Kennedys and Black Flag, and I'm sure these guys probably said the same thing. I mean, that kind of motivated me for writing, and yeah, it's a big part of what makes me up as a musician.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, listening to Whiplash, from Metallica and, the Kill 'Em All album. And then when they did that, what was that shit? The 519 album, basically they covered the
The Garage Days, yeah, that was
yeah, Garage
great.
Days, yeah. And that actually, because I had been kind of sheltered as far as like punk,
Yeah,
again,
me too.
It was like the main, like you said, Sex Pistols or something like that, and you were like, oh, that's punk. Didn't really realize what hardcore was until because of Metallica. Then you get into the Misfits, and then you realize, oh, there's this band called Black Flag.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I don't know if you guys have ever read that book, but Henry Rollins, Get in the Van.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I'm a big Rollins fan. He inspired me. I write spoken word on the side. And
Oh, yeah.
The spoken word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I first heard it on the my buddy brought it over. We used to listen to it every day. Went bought the book. And then I met the guy once, and I didn't realize how fucking short he was. I was like, what the fuck? He was like 12?
Yeah.
You start smoking at
really
9 to
that
stunt your
short?
growth?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably, I don't know, 5'6", 5'7".
Henry Rollins, really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Which makes sense because the singer of ASD, he was a little shorter, like he's about the same height.
Yeah.
He was built like
Yeah.
Rollins. It's like the little dudes, man. It's like like Danzig and all them just can get huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a 6'1" stick.
Well, then, but you can just do this on their head,
Right.
swinging at you and shit. Like,
So, Steve, I'd also been asking the other guys about like how they got into music. So, what was your story? How did you get into music?
When I was real young, my stepfather brought home some guitars for me and my brother, and we didn't have the clue on how to play them. We were like beating them with spoons and pencils, but I was digging it. And then he had a garage sale and he sold them, and because he thinks that we weren't serious enough about it. But yeah, it was basically high school years, just jamming in the garage with neighborhood friends with little amplifiers, and yeah, just when you write your first song, you're just like blown away, like, oh my god, we actually made this,
Yeah.
So yeah, it goes way. Yeah, I've been. So yeah, I'm 55. So I started playing guitar at 15, and I didn't get good at guitar till I was like 25. It took me a good 10 years.
Yeah. It sounds like you're on the same path as me, because
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the age actually, I feel like it makes a difference in our band too, is because like, you know, Steve and Aaron are older than me and Jay. But I mean, like we've all been doing this for a while, but like the knowledge that comes from playing with guys that are older and have been doing it for a while, for me specifically, is just it's priceless. You know, like these guys show me a lot of things that I would have never thought to do or, you know, try or to, you know, it's awesome. I like it.
Yeah.
You know, when you hit 55, you don't really give a shit anymore. You know, and I'm sure you just don't. I don't really, you know, I don't care much. You know, as long as I got food, water, a place to shower, lay my head, I'm fine.
I want indoor plumbing.
Dude, he lives in like a he's the most punk rock one out of all of us. He lives in Detroit in a studio fucking like apartment. Drives an hour to band practice. That guy's a rock star.
We appreciate him.
Awesome.
Well, when you get together with special players, I feel like we're all kissing each other's ass right now. But yeah, you guys are like brothers, man. I swear to God, when you get in a band and it's like a year later, you guys are really good friends still, and you're not at each other's throats, and that's a great fucking sign.
Yeah.
We
have a lot of fun.
I think this is too much fun for us.
Yeah, we better break up.
It's time to break up. Get a tattoo of the band on your arm.
Yeah, the death knell of a band is to get a tattoo. That's it. Boom.
What'd you say, Steve?
Oh, I don't remember. I lose it quick.
So still back on that kind of nostalgia train. What was each of yours first concert that you went to?
First concert?
Yeah.
You can go first, Steve.
Oh, really? Well, the first time I seen a live band, it was I was like 13 or something, and it was that band Halloween.
Oh, really?
From
like
Detroit.
Detroit?
Yeah, they used to play at bowling alley on 7.5 in Van Dyke.
Oh man,
what was that called? The Falcon Lounge. That's what it was. It was a bowling alley.
Wow.
And my mom would drove us there, and we'd sit there for the afternoon and watch the band. That was like the first time I seen live music.
That's crazy. I still love Halloween. It was like one of my very first, like, I think that was when I realized that local bands become like national bands, because you know, you see like Metallica or, you know, whoever, Black Sabbath, and you think, oh, you know, that they're not like, I don't know how to say it right, but they're just not real. They just feel like it's too much for you, right? You don't realize that a local band can be, you know, as good as a national band. And Halloween was that band for me. When I heard "Don't Meddle with Evil" and listened to listen to Rick Craig, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy sounds like Randy Rhoads.
They had a stage show where they're like candles and flames, and their hair was like hairsprayed up to the top of the ceiling. It looked like, man, one little spark, their hair would went way up. But I remember Seduce too was just taking off at that time too, and man, they were just fucking it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah. So let's say Dan, how about you?
For me, this is kind of funny actually. Like one that I went to with me and my friends, not because I had a musical family that always went to concerts, but my first show on my own with my friends was, believe it or not, Jay's old band, No Class Assassins, and I saw them with Annie Up.
Oh, really?
Colorado, long time ago. This is like over 10 years ago.
Shit, that's crazy. Jay, how about you?
First concert?
Yeah.
My first concert was the band In Excess.
All right.
Holy shit.
And it was right before the singer committed suicide.
Well, he might have been autoerotic.
Yeah.
Was it auto? Or
I think he
hung
really?
I think
that's what they said. Yeah.
He just doesn't have the right technique. See, I got to show it.
God, it felt so good.
I need you tonight.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Hey, we should cover that song, right?
There you go.
I know, like to you, but like to say in excess, like wow, that's
It's bizarre.
It is
It
bizarre.
was a festival at I think it was at the Palace.
Oh, crazy. Awesome.
I think Echo and the Bunnymen were there too.
Wow.
Yeah, it was some weird like 80s rock festival thing.
Were you on mescaline?
No.
Was there a lot of women? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's not even a drug that's relevant anymore, I don't think.
I know, it's like saying, were you on Quaaludes?
Right.
The dots? And the dots, sir?
Yeah. So Aaron, how about you?
I can't remember really the first. I remember the first like big concert I went to was like Metallica.
Nice.
It was either
That's a
Justice
good
League
one.
or the Black Tour. I don't remember.
Yeah, the black was the was when I kind of gave up Metallica. I was like, this is a bummer.
Yeah, me too. I didn't really get
Really like I did like some of the songs on the Black album when I saw him play them live.
Yeah.
I was like, why didn't you play it like that on the fucking album, dude? Like they speed it up or they play it a little slower. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you should play it like
See,
that.
like that's a generational thing though, because
It
like,
is.
I was born
like that shit.
Yeah, when I was born, that was Metallica. You know what I mean? That was the Metallica I grew up with was Black Album on. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that Metallica that you guys love so much is like a fucking fantasy. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't sounded like that my whole life.
He thought the Black album was the first
Sucks.
album.
You know? Because like
Yeah, I saw the Ride the Lightning tour. That was freaking awesome.
I bet it was.
Dude.
Yeah.
You get to see
Yeah,
Cliff.
yeah.
But it was the coolest thing you ever seen.
Through the Never was a good one on the Black album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
But that's you're
You see him
exactly
live,
right.
when I saw him play some of it live, it's like, why didn't you do that? You know, dude,
I can't even imagine. Yeah, like when the live shit binge and purge like box set. Is that what you're talking about?
no, when I saw him play it live,
I bet.
actually live.
That was
Well,
probably.
I was
bet
there,
it sounded way
man.
cooler live.
Yeah, they're good live. Really
Yeah.
good.
They're a really good live band. Yeah.
When you were saying that, Dan, I was thinking, yes, that is exactly true. You know, it is a generational thing because that is a dividing line for a lot of Metallica fans. Old school, they're like, boop, you know, that was either they liked it or didn't like it.
That was
And
the
then-
best one we got for. I'm 30, so like, the
Yeah.
Black Album was the
That
best
was
one
it,
I got.
yeah.
Fun fact, Steve and this dick haven't said anything yet, but they all cut their hair. I was the last one to shave my head the other week.
Yeah.
So now we're gonna do our Black album.
Right,
I
we're
guess.
we're
gonna make
long
millions.
hair. We all had long hair.
I guess I'm sure what
Yeah, we did. I just realized that.
They're like, well, I'm gonna commit suicide jumping up the
That's
top of my
look,
fucking
that's
wall.
another thing too. Like if a punk band were to even have long hair and then cut it, like back in the day, that would have been like, oh, you sell out. Like I'm so glad it's like some aspects things aren't like that now.
Oh yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know.
There's still, you know, the gatekeepers that like to like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
You
you don't know what fucking, you know, Slayer is, or you know, don't wear that shirt if you don't listen to it. I'm like, fuck it. If you like
Right.
Name 10 songs. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, exactly. I couldn't name 10
Spotify
songs.
thing I don't look at.
You know, like I've never seen. I say this every once in a while, but I'm gonna say it publicly. Never once in my life have I seen a beautiful woman wearing a band shirt and thought that bitch better be able to name 10 songs. I've always thought like, oh wow, that girl's hot and she likes hot music. Awesome. Never. I'm gonna make her name 10
I'm gonna make her
songs.
hate me with 5 seconds of meeting her.
Right. Right.
Yeah, immediately a quiz.
If
Right.
she wants to fuck me, who cares?
Right. Crazy.
Dear
Uh,
God.
That's funny as hell. So if you know if you guys could play anywhere in the world, where would you guys like to play, and who would you like to have on the bill with your band? Who?
Ramones?
Yeah.
I definitely not Ramones and Misfits.
Yeah, it would be cool to
Dead
like
Kennedys.
if we were to play with the Danzig and
The Danzigs.
the reunion with
The 80s
Doyle
Danzigs.
and Jerry and Dave Lombardo that they're doing right now.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be different.
That'd be sweet.
Have you
Yeah,
heard of that?
Yeah,
Is it good or is it
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like
good.
okay?
it's good. They play well.
So some singers just don't age well with their voice.
Oh,
It's like,
yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I heard some Axl Rose shit. It's like,
Oh God, Vince Neil. Good Lord.
hey, they're making money though, man. So
that's right.
they're fucking bitches and I'm not. So it's like making millions.
So any particular venue you guys would like to play? Like if you could go anywhere in the world?
damn, I would like to play some clubs in Chicago. Hopefully we can make that a reality. I like the scummy alley stuff. That's just my whole thing. I'd like to play Hellfest.
Oh yeah.
Fest would be cool.
Yeah.
This Is Hardcore would be a cool one, I feel like, for us.
Yes. But This Is Hardcore Fest.
If it's any venue at any time, I'd just probably like to do CBGBs.
Yeah.
It's like anything really cool, like, doesn't exist.
Yeah, it was still open. It's gone now, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like anything, like,
We're trying to bring back that feeling to punk rock, though. Like that, like we're trying to bring that back. Like, that feeling of punk rock that's almost unsafe like that. Like when I think of unsafe, I definitely think of like CBGBs or like, something like that's what we're trying to bring back.
Those gritty clubs that you felt a little bit uneasy about sometimes, especially when
I don't feel like musicians are really supposed to play arenas like that. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, I definitely.
The genre makes the difference too.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. If you want punk, you want it to be local and small. Most metal, I think. It's rare that I want it to be in a big thing.
Go to CBGBs, but
right.
Might.
But like I saw Megadeth and Motorhead at the Palace of Auburn Hills, and like it was so huge. I would have rather saw them at like Harpo's or something.
Yeah.
Sometimes just the sound quality too.
Yeah.
Like I saw Aerosmith. I can't remember where it was. Big arena. There was Aerosmith. They're hyping them up, and I saw them. I thought the sound was so fucking bad. All it was like noise and feedback. I'm like,
I heard they sound like that though. I heard Aerosmith's pretty bad live.
Are they? No, I saw them once. We'll see them again. Metallica, though, on the other hand, I've seen them everywhere. Any place I've seen that band, they always sound good. I'm like, how the fuck do you do that, man? I saw Guns N' Roses, was bored as shit. I think there was when they toured Metallica, so I think they played like they have 2 kick-ass songs, a bunch of ballads, and they would play like 19 guitar solos. It was just like, I think we brought my mom and she fell asleep.
Damn, they were doing too much showman.
And they didn't sound that bad. It was just like,
trying to be showman.
Yeah.
Guitar solo for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any solo for 10 minutes.
No, not even one, really.
It's got to be.
Yeah, it needs to be succinct.
Yngwie Malmsteen or whatever.
Oh, Yngwie, yeah. Oh boy.
We played. I played a show when I was in Watchmen upstairs with that one guy that plays the.
Oh yeah, the
Michael Badio.
Badio.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Is that a theremin?
Huh?
A theremin?
No, he had a guitar that had four necks. He had four necks.
Oh yeah, they had I had this like what do you call it? Guitar fucking things back in the day. We had his videotape on VHS.
Yeah.
And it was like I don't know if I could be in a band like that, but that guy can fucking play.
Yeah. He didn't have a band.
He's one.
Yeah, it was just him. I mean, he played like a Metallica set, a Pantera set, but just shredded through the whole thing.
Yeah, that dude was ridiculous. Like every time I've seen him, like he's just, it's unworldly. Like
he'll start flipping his hand up and around the neck.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I do admire, being a guitar player. I admire like really technical guitar playing, but at the other extreme, like I don't want to like watch an hour of it.
Yeah.
I went to see Dream Theater once. I was bored out of my mind.
Really?
Because
I was bored. I seen him with Megadeth.
Yeah, I would be bored too on that one.
Yeah, it was I felt like I could have just put the CD on. It would have been the same. Yeah.
When it gets way too polished and too instrumental, I lose it. I can't. I'm like, nah, I don't do it.
Yeah, it
all about energy at a live concert. Like you want to feel that energy, that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So, I got a question about like, what do you guys think how would you say the music scene is for you? Do you feel like that the scene here is good, or does it need work? And if it needs work, what would you like ideally, what would you like it to be like?
The scene has been great. I can't speak for any other band because we always have, so far every time we've played, we have people moshing, singing our lyrics, really supporting us.
Awesome.
And I see a lot of shows going on every week. I'm a new dad, so unfortunately I can't make as many as I'd like to, but right now, even in our city, because we're in Port Huron, but everything I see from Port Huron to Detroit, it's way better than it's been in the last couple of years. I
Yeah, I
think
Awesome.
there's
agree.
more people, like you said earlier, realizing that a local band can be just as good, if not better, than what
Yeah.
you're hearing on the radio or seeing on TV. And I
Right.
wish more people would appreciate physical media like us. It seems like than your average Spotify music listener. But hey, as long as people keep going to shows and liking music, I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. There's it always the scene around here can be like a skeleton at times,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
you're wondering when something new is going to happen because it's like there isn't really a big metal scene here or punk, but there are the bands that are doing it are putting
Killing
in
it.
that work, and
Yeah.
they're climbing and scratching. It's just what we do around here. And yeah, there's diamonds in the rough here and
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and that carries into the Detroit area too, because there's a lot of good Detroit like punk and metal bands, but
Yeah.
a lot of them have been doing it for a while, like Detroit 442, or like the stuff Ralph Smith does with Death in Custody and Bad Assets and stuff like that.
One metal band that I did not want to go on after I saw him was Siphon.
Oh,
so
We did
yeah.
the metal fest, and I watched them like, I don't want to go on after these guys. Because I've been on that stage, and I know I can't hear shit. I play in this other band, right? And fucking these guys went up there, were so, and they're young, and they're so tight. Everything was fucking on. I'm like, Jesus, fuck, man. These guys, hopefully they stay together.
Yeah.
Usually it's like the good bands, like they're out and then they fade away. It's like, man.
have you ever heard of Siphoned?
Yeah. I
Oh.
saw them. I saw them live. They were amazing.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, geez.
Yeah. And they covered a Death song, and it was like you were watching Death.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
wow.
super cool.
yeah. I was
Wow.
like, what the fuck? And like you said, they're children. They're like, I don't know.
And
how
they look
fucking
like
old
when
they
they
are.
play, it's effortless. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, I was like, when I was their age, I was struggling to get through
I
these
got to the
songs,
basement
man.
for like 24 hours of the day, and you
Yeah.
come up and go out, eat like a little snack, and go back on the basement and play some more. It's like, what the fuck? Because even the bass player's like fucking doing all this shit. I'm like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's metal. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking good.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Probably
remember.
the best metal bands I've probably seen around here.
Yeah.
Just,
I know
just
what
that
show
young,
was.
you know.
They opened for Atheist and Cynic. That's where I saw
Oh,
them.
cool.
Yeah. With Recorruptor. You ever heard Recorruptor?
Yep.
That band kicks ass too. Holy shit.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah. Talk about terrifying. My God.
We played some pretty good punk bands too. We played Punk Off.
Yeah,
I was
man. I'm
surprised.
excited
I
to
was
play
like-
this next show with two bands that we played with last time, Duck Butter and Side Effects. They were
Yeah.
awesome.
Awesome. I've heard good things about Duck Butter, but I've not seen them.
And they're
yet.
awesome, guys. I'm pretty good friends with them on Facebook.
Cool. Awesome.
But like you were saying, the scene's been great to us. We just got nominated for 2 Blue Water Music Awards in our area for Best Album and Rookie of the Year. So
Awesome.
I mean, shit. We write songs about things that we don't like pedophiles and rape, and just the fact that can get that kind of support. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Until they kick us out of the awards this year.
Right, I hope not.
If we were talking about doing some stage antics, you never know what'll happen.
Right.
He said we were thinking about doing something with some fake blood. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Or real
That's good that that you guys feel that way, because I've been kind of mulling that question over in my mind, and just from the number of shows I've been to, and doing this podcast and everything, I feel like there's a really good, I don't know if it was Dan or Jay that said it, but there's a really good core like metal and punk scene. It's not like super huge, but
Yeah.
the bands that are in it are like really dedicated, and I think the fans that like it are dedicated as well. So it's cool to see that it's not just kind of Detroit centric, but it's kind of creeped up into the coast and
Yeah.
into the middle of the state. Although I feel like Ann Arbor lacks. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I still feel like it
Really
lacks a
got
little
the blind
bit.
pig.
Yeah, Well, yeah, Ipsy's cool. I mean, they got
Gypsy
Ziggy's.
was cool.
Yeah, and they got the Regal Beagle. So there are a couple places, and Blind Pig every once in a while gets, some good shows. And I think they had a metal night.
So if we
They
play
had
out there,
Goat
we're
Horror
at your house.
out there.
Right, we're staying in here for.
So yeah, so cool.
One band I'd like us to open up for is Negative Approach before they
Yeah.
call it a day.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so cool.
They're coming too. They're playing those shows with the Suicide Machines at Smalls.
I know.
Yeah.
Reached out to Mike from Smalls, and he's like, "Now they're bringing their own support," and it's like, so one thing we hate hearing as a local band. Like, damn it.
Yeah, yeah. That band is fantastic. Well, they played. I got to. Well, it wasn't Negative Approach. It was actually the Laughing Hyenas, but it was still
Same singer.
Yeah, John, and it was like watching Negative Approach. They played at the Blind Pig, and I was like, shit, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And they've got more intense over the years.
Yeah, I swear,
It's like, wow, John.
Yeah.
And bash his teeth in or some shit.
Yeah. That you guys would be at, as far as pairings, that would be an awesome, when we're talking like
One of our big influences.
yeah, like a dream tour, that would be very cool to see you guys like rocking out with those guys. It'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
Yeah. Well, guys, I very much appreciate you being on Fans with Bands.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah, hell, man.
Thank you, dude.
And I've got one last question for each of you. Pineapple or no pineapple on pizza?
No pineapple.
Pineapple on pizza, wherever the fuck you
Oh,
want.
I'll eat it just because I'm a fat
I'm okay
man.
with either or, to be honest with you. It's not like a make or break.
Yeah. All right.
And I'm chubby, yes.
Yeah, I would eat it, but if I had to order it, no way.
What about you, Chuck?
I am not a sweet and savory, so if I like pineapple, but I need it over on its own,
That's understandable.
its own thing. And then pizza is savory, so I don't want them on the same plate.
I can understand that.
When you eat, do you eat each section of the food and the sides on the plate all separatly?
How do you eat a hot dog?
Hot
Do
dog.
you eat it like from the side like this, or do you?
Only with mustard. So no ketchup on the hot dog.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
The hot dog is a sandwich.
Oh, fuck you.
It's definitely a sandwich.
You started it.
It's done. All
Thanks,
right,
buddy.
guys.
It was fun.
All right, man. Again, thank you guys so much for being on.
Yeah,
Fans with
cool,
Bands.
man.
Oh, man.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
All right, Chuck.
See you guys.
I'll jerk off
Right.
now.
Many thanks to Jay, Dan, Aaron, and Steve for joining me on this episode of Fans with Bands. It was great to get to talk to these guys about Chemical Valley Mutants and their debut album called Poisoned. This album is full of furious hardcore punk that'll get you pumped up for your day. I mean, you'll be ready to go, man. Get a copy for yourself over at their Bandcamp page. Then go see Chemical Valley Mutants at Punk Off 4 on February 9th at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Chesterfield Township. See the show notes for all the details and links. Bands are nothing without you, the fans. Purchasing music and merchandise is critical to their survival. If you can help out your favorite bands, please do. If you're in Michigan, consider following the Playing in Detroit Area Tonight and SE for Southeast Michigan Music Facebook pages. They are fantastic places for fans and bands to support each other and share our combined love of music. Thank you all so much for listening. Be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast service to get each and every episode of Fans with Bands. Spread the word by rating the show, telling your friends, telling your neighbors, telling your family, telling your priest, tell everyone, and leave a comment. We want to hear what you think. You can keep in touch by following us on social media. This is a Life in Michigan production. Until next time, be well and kick out the jam.